Hello, friends. Grab your popcorn, your drink, and let's listen in today's story. This story was sent in by a shaman brother who helped three brothers with their spirits attachments. Disclaimer: there are some profanity in today's story and meant for mature viewers only. Alright, let's get started. Cho ít sự hai tia, yu mu khó tư, có yu ô shong thiết chính ba, imicha yu mu pong, tora. There were three brothers that had attachments onto them who reached out for help. The youngest brother used to get sat on a lot during the night. If you don't know what that is, it's sleep paralysis. He would see a girl come out of the shadows of his closet. That girl claimed that they were lovers. The middle brother had a girl that followed him from the farm. He used to sell veggies in a farmer's market down in Southern California, and while there, they spent the night near an old raggedy shack, and since then, he has been constantly getting sleep paralysis. The last brother recently got into an accident and started hearing an old man whisper in his ears. As I started chanting and looked into the first brother's issue, a younger female in her mid-20s popped out. I asked her to state her case on why she keeps following this guy and how they even met. The spirit showed me a figure standing by the edge of the river fishing while the sun was starting to set. The place was surrounded by trees. She then says, I asked her what she wanted in order for her to leave. She told me, Kuchikamo vihetia ushiluheng. I told her that the dead and living cannot love each other. If she stays, he'll get sick and die. There are rules that have to be enforced, and if she doesn't take the Jaws paper boats that I offer her, then for her to not get mad for whatever happens next. She then agrees, and we move on to the next brother. I then again began chanting, and a female entity appeared in front of me. My guides first showed me a gas station store where the girl was standing by the corner. She must have made herself noticeable and scared the brother, then attached herself to him. I turned around and looked at the middle brother and asked, Hey, when you used to go down south to sell veggies, do you recall seeing anything or anyone that startled you, while you were at a gas station? He answers, Man, it has been too long to recall. I then asked my guides again to see where they really met. They then showed me an old raggedy shack-like house that was all boarded up on a farm. I then asked the middle brother about the boarded up house. He instantly recalls and yells, Oh shit, you're talking about that house with the graffiti on it? Okay, look, this is what happened, okay? So we used to travel down south to help my, cousins sell vegetables in San Diego. We would always drive there a day early and spend the night there. Well, this one night, we decided to sleep in the car near an open farm area that was close to the market. On that farm, there was an old raggedy shed. That house, was kind of creepy and had graffiti all over the house. The windows were all sealed up and the roof was starting to deteriorate. And the first thought that ran through my mind was, and then that following night, when I was falling asleep, I felt something heavy come onto me and held me down. My body went limp and I wasn't able to move. Ever since that day, I've been getting slept on. Like even a few months after that, me, my cousin, his wife, and his kid, we went to sleep at this motel. Well, that night, his wife went somewhere late. She didn't get back until later on. So before I fell asleep, I told him, Tao, yate kumachua ke jakwan. Well, during that time, I fell asleep and I could still hear my nephew jump back and forth from the two queen beds. All of a sudden, I felt this like cold, heavy presence start to sink into the room. And then the bed got heavy and it felt like someone was walking on the bed. Well, suddenly my body goes limp and I can hear myself groaning. Well, that morning, my nephew tells his mom that there was this girl on top of me last night. And of course, she was upset and she was telling me that it was rude of me to bring a girl over, especially because there was a kid here. Of course, I'm confused, because I was sleeping. And I told her, "What are you talking about? I never had anyone over last night. I was asleep and I would never disrespect you like that." My nephew was like, and I just stood there and was like, "Oh shit. Well, my cousin's wife face dropped and she just stared at me with disgust. And that's what happened. I then jumped back into negotiation with the girl's spirit and I told her, "Okay, look, you only have two choices, okay? You either take the money I offer you and leave, or I'll just have to use force." Of course, she agrees and take the money and leave. The last brother had been in a car accident recently, and that following night, he came home and heard an old man whisper in his ears. He could recall the old man saying, "Kuritijia, kunimuchajia." I then started chanting, and the old man appears in front of me. He tells me that he followed the older brother home because he was startled during the accident and the brother's spirit was down. I then negotiated with the old man and he agrees to my terms. So then I jumped to the place of the accident to help raise the spirit of the brother up because the place was pitch black and surrounded with mountains. The landlord, or the teacher of the area, popped out and greeted me. He asked me, "What business do you have here?" I asked my guys to confirm to see if he's really the landlord or just a datsing daku. They confirmed that he was really the landlord. The room started to get cold as goosebumps started to build because landlords of an area are usually pretty strong. That's why they're able to supervise that particular area. I told him, "Kutoa cha le tunju." He then answers, "Koto cha chta le tunju vihetia le otabikong piela." He then shows me the tire marks and damaged road, and he demanded for 40 paper boats to pay for the repairs of the area. I agreed and was able to raise the brother's spirit and bring him back home. All three entities agreed on leaving all the brothers alone for the next 3 days. If nothing happens within those 3 days and all the brothers' symptoms stop, then we'll call them back to come and get their money. The following day, the younger brother calls me and tells me that the lady came back and that he had a dream of her and she came back and sat on him. I threw on my gears and went searching for her. When I found her and asked her why she came back, she kept saying, "That was the last straw for me. I don't like giving second chances, so I grabbed her and took her up to the heaven court for judgment. Ever since then, all three brothers stopped hearing, seeing, and stopped experiencing sleep paralysis. And this is why. Yumukatu ko yu ojong taking pa utilichipung tora. Thank you all for tuning in. That was the end of that story. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I pray that we all continue to be well with great health after listening to today's story. If anyone has any true stories that they would like to submit, please message us. Our email is in the bio. I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you.